Hi everyone, we are the besties who believe. So welcome back everyone. This is our June video and we thought that because we are halfway through the year we would do our top things of the year so far. So we're just kind of going to go back and forth and talk through our top things from each of these categories from the year so far. And we'd love to hear in the comments any added things that you guys have of your favorites. And yeah, we're just going to have a bit of a chit chat and show you guys. This category is movies. Okay. I feel like I put one movie in my list that was like an actual new movie that came out this year. And then I have two movies that I just really enjoyed this year.
Yeah, I've got the same.
So what do you have?
So my number one was People We Meet on Vacation. I really enjoyed that movie. I hadn't read the book. I read the book after the movie. The movie was really good. Then number two was The Housemaid. I think I rewatched it in 2026 because I think it came out at the end of 2025. It was really good. I've read the book and I really enjoyed the second book, I think, but the first book was also really good. So the movie was really good and I fell in love with the main guy. I forgot his name even though he was the bad guy. Really, I forgot to add this. I watched Mannequin, one of my mum's favorite movies ever. It's in like the 80s. So good. So I watched that and then obviously I've rewatched The Sound of Music about like 5 million times this year. So
my top movies this year was my family and I on Mother's Day went and saw Devil Wears Prada. And I actually wasn't even going to bother watching it, but I'm so glad that we did. I like seriously loved it. I think just all like the outfits were really incredible and like seeing a lot of the vintage things was really cool too because it was like an anniversary movie almost.
Oh really?
It was like 20 years since the first one. They like brought back a couple of things that like were worn in the first movie in the second movie.
That's so cool.
So it was kind of cool seeing those. So yeah, definitely Devil Wears Prada is up there. A second movie that I really loved this year was Redeeming Love. My mum and I watched the movie. It's a Christian movie and it's based off the book of Hosea. I am yet to read Hosea, but basically Hosea was a minor prophet. God asked him to marry a promiscuous woman. So the movie is based off the story of Hosea and it's kind of looking at Christ as the groom and the church as his bride and how us as his church continue to run away and do the wrong thing, be promiscuous, as in like following other gods and idols in our lives, and how God will wait for us as the groom for when the bride is like ready to be married. So I really loved that movie and it really made me reflect about how our relationship is with God on like another level. So I really loved that movie. And then a movie from my childhood that I watched a couple of times this year is Nanny McPhee.
Oh my god.
Which I just love. I love both of them and my cousin came over a couple weeks ago and we watched it. And literally ever since then we've both been quoting like, oh hello covered in poo people. It's just like so funny. Like it was such a good concept. So they were definitely my top movies from this year.
TV shows.
Yes.
So I am a person who watches the same TV show 5 million times. I've only watched 2 different TV shows this year. One I stopped watching and then the second one I only just started watching today. One was Smallville and today I just started Every Summer After. I've read the book and the book is like giving The Summer I Turned Pretty, which I love and I miss. But some shows that I've been watching that I've always watched. I was watching New Girl. We love New Girl. The Office and Dance Moms.
My top TV shows from this year, I just have 2. This whole year, I think a little bit of last year, I was watching The Rookie. It's been out for ages, but I only started watching it this year and I really loved it. The new season just dropped on Monday. So I need to get on that. And the other TV show that I've loved over like last year and this year is One Tree Hill. I love it. There's like 9 seasons and I'm up to season 8 at the moment. I'm almost halfway through. But yeah, it's the classic 2000s TV show that I never watched. So I've really been enjoying it and just like the storyline is fun. Like it's more than just like we loved Gilmore Girls growing up, but I felt like that was very like love interest heavy, where this is like sport heavy. One like random, what's it called? Like honorable mention. I started the OC earlier this year, but I kind of dropped off just because the storyline was getting boring and it was only like season 2.
Next is books. I have 5 top books that I've read. So number 5 was People We Meet on Vacation. So I read that. I audio listened to that book. Number 4 was Hate Mail. This was just one that was on like my free audiobook Spotify thing. Read it. Wasn't too bad. It was good. Number 3, this was my first book I read this year. This was Fake Skating. So this was a Lynn Painter book. That was really, really cute. I think I gave it like 4.5 stars. And then number 2, I read a lot of Frida McFadden books at the start of the year, which is the housemaid author.
Oh, right.
She's got really good books. And the one I really liked was The Inmate. Number 1 was this book I read, In Your Dreams. I've read the whole series. I don't know what the series is called, but I read all the books last year. And then this was the last one in the series. And it was really good, but I've already forgot what it was about. But it was really good from what I remember. How about you? Because you've read a lot too.
Yes, well, I've gotten really into reading this year, and I've like never ever been a reader. No one would ever describe me as a reader. However, this year I got into it because Kiara and a few other friends really recommended that I read the Hunger Games series. And so I read the whole series in 1 month, which was just like astronomical for me. So I've read 12 books this year. One of my favorites that I've read was definitely the first Hunger Games book, where I've watched the series and loved it for years. Reading it and really getting a lot of the backstory and the context to these key iconic characters was just it just blew my mind, understanding things for the first time. You know, they cut out of the script for the movie.
Yeah, they actually cut out a few things.
So many things. So I really enjoyed that. And then the last Hunger Games book, Sunrise on the Reaping, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, such an awesome book. And I loved it so much because it's about Haymitch, his games and his life, but it gave me context for why Haymitch was he was in the last 3 books. So I really appreciate it, and I'm so excited for the movie, and I've seen so much stuff about it already. So I'm very excited for that. Aside from the Hunger Games, I actually brought the book with me by Jerry Bridges, Pursuit of Holiness by Jerry Bridges. I was gifted this from a really close friend of mine for my birthday last year. And I was like, oh, cool, a book, I'll read it. Anyway, I read it this year. Oh my goodness, guys, it's blown my mind in the way in which we approach holiness. As Christians, we are told that we are set apart as a holy nation. We are a holy people because we have a holy God. And I think for so long, holiness has felt like something that, something that's expected of us, but is known to be impossible. And so there's no point even trying because it's just impossible. This book made holiness so approachable in a way that I've never really heard of before. And, even though we will never be 100% holy because only Jesus is that way, there are steps that we can take and things that we can cut out of our lives to slowly creep in that direction. And we're told that we will continue to grow in holiness until Jesus comes back and we go to eternal life. We will be completely holy. So this was a really good book, and it was actually a part 1. This book, which is The Practice of Godliness, which is my 12th book that I'm reading at the moment. This one has been a harder read, only because I felt like it's exploring a lot of different themes, where this one was kind of all flowing through one theme, because there are so many ways in which we approach being godly sons and daughters of God. But I've still really enjoyed this, and the way that the author describes it, as in this book is about acknowledging that there is an old self that we need to put off, and then this book is about acknowledging that now that we've put off the old self, we need to put on our new self in Christ Jesus. So these have been a real favorite of mine this year.
Next one are our favorite Bible stories and books of the Bible. I have a few. I don't really remember what I've read this year, but I do know we've been doing Daniel in our youth group, and I think it's just amazing. Then the book of Daniel is just so underrated. I really loved the story of burning, is it furnace? It was so amazing, and the lion's den, and so being in a youth setting, we're very much telling these kids, hey, they didn't follow these guys, they still followed God even when the pressures of
they were fully immersed in this society that was very cultural to the way that they had grown up.
Yeah, and so I think the one takeaway is that even in those situations where it's so hard to feel like you can be a Christian and you feel like you have to put on a facade, look at the book of Daniel, he encountered so many trials and everything of being a Christian, and he was able to succeed with the strength of God. It wasn't on his own. And so I think that was the biggest takeaway. I started reading the book of Esther. Esther is really amazing. I really liked it. I got to keep reading it. I think I did read Hebrews this year. I just love Hebrews, Romans. I love all
Hebrews 11 is really cool about how all our ancestors showed faith. It's really cool.
Obviously we're doing Deuteronomy at church, and I've never really read Deuteronomy. It's been very, very good learning 10 commandments to start with, but also just idol worship. And I think when we think of idol worship, we automatically think of statues. There are so many our idols in our life can be social media on our phones. There's not only just an application for then, also be for now.
Our minister was saying good things that God God gives us as gifts that we then put as number one above God.
Yeah, so I think he was talking about like family, sport,
Work, health.
So like that's all good gifts from God, but like
You can
twist it. And then also I've been wanting to read the Bible back to front alongside studying the Bible. Again, like I love to read. So I started reading Genesis, and I think I really went into Genesis just seeing Jesus just everywhere. And when Abraham goes to sacrifice his like Isaac, and it's just like how God's gonna bring the good shepherd. And it's just like, oh my gosh, that's literally Jesus, and we're at the start. We're not like we're 40 pages in, like, you know. And so I love Genesis. You just see those glimmers of Jesus, just like glitter, just like a little bit here. You just see Jesus, and it's just so cool. So yeah, they're my few that I've read.
I just really liked what you said just then. Jesus is like glitter, he's everywhere. I feel like we need to put that on a t-shirt.
What are your thoughts?
Three books that I felt that have had an impact on me this year is definitely Daniel, doing that this term with our kids. And you know, it's expected of us to be in that book and learn so that then we can teach our kids well. And I really appreciated Daniel, like we've said. Another one we did is we went on a church camp this year, looked at the book of Jonah. I loved Jonah growing up. I loved the VeggieTales movie. I thought it was so much fun. But I think for the first time this year, I truly saw that Jonah and the whale is like 5 verses in the whole of the book. I think there's 4 or 5 chapters, and Jonah and the whale is like 4 or 5 verses out of the whole book. And it's like there is so much more that we take away from Jonah than just that he faced an adversity in a whale. And it really opened my eyes up to like Jonah being a prophet, someone that God used to share his word. And even he was afraid, and even he doubted God. Even he put his own desires and his own will above the will of God's at times. And just how I felt like it just taught me that like even those who are supposed to be like greater and better, like we are all sinful at the end of the day, and God is so graceful and forgiving and merciful. All have the opportunity to come and turn to Jesus. I really love Jonah. And just recently, last night, I finished the book of Ezra. A friend and I have been reading it, and I've never touched Ezra before, so I learned for the first time where it sits in the Old Testament history timeline, different things. Really appreciated it's during the time of exile, and God's people are coming back to Jerusalem, and just how God uses his people to do amazing things. Yeah, they were our books of the Bible.
The songs or albums. So I have been in a bit of a rut with my music because I don't know what my style is, and I've been really trying to listen to more godly based music rather than secular-ish. I've been I've been noticing the lyrics, and I'm just like, oh, okay. But I did listen to Harry's new album, and even there was like one lyric and I was a bit like, ugh. And also Harry's House. I got into a little phase of Harry's House again, which was really good. And then I've been really into Loretta Lynn. She's very like old school worship. There's a version of How Great Thou Art, and it's really beautiful. Obviously, I love the Sound of Music soundtrack. I went through a little phase of that last month, and my music, I'm honestly in a little rut.
So I've got more albums on my tops from this year. Zara Larsson released her Midnight Sun album this year. I've always been a fan of Zara's. Actually, I think in our first video, I mentioned one of Zara's songs. So yes, continuing still till June, she brought out the new version with all the featuring artists. Yes, I've loved her Midnight Sun album, and specifically from the album, I love the song Crush, favorite. Second album is Ray released her album This Music May Contain Hope in March this year. Oh my goodness, it is just like, I highly recommend everyone has to listen to it. Seriously feels like you're listening to a movie. Every song continues on from the next, and there's a continual storyline. And oh my goodness, it just blew my mind this year. And particularly my favorite song off that album is Joy. Such a good song. And then I really loved Brent Fires' new album he released this year. That was in February, I think he released it, his album Icon. I think I also mentioned this album in another video because it's his first album where the whole album is clean. There's no naughty lyric or explicit lyric. So I really love that R&B kind of relaxed style of music. Then specifically, I've really gotten back into the song Young Hearts by Candy Staton. I watched Romeo and Juliet earlier this year, which I love that movie. And that song is like one of the key songs from that movie. I love the old music. I think because I had old parents growing up, we listened to a lot of old songs. When I hear an old one like that, it just reminds me of my childhood. So yeah.
All right, next is pop culture moment. I've really not been into this. Like I just I look at it and I'm like, cool. I don't really have any favorite, but I think it was this year Tangled did get cast.
Yes.
And that was really good. I was very happy with the casting. The next two were about Harry Styles. Number 2 was Harry Styles on the Raw Court. That is with Brittany Broski. That was really good. That was really funny. And then Ryan Gosling singing to Harry Styles in SNL. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, it's so funny. He sings Sign of the Times, but the camera keeps going to Harry. So good. I don't even know what's happened this year on it. I get a bit mixed up with 2025 and 2026. So they're the ones I've got.
My favorite pop culture moments from this year was the debate over the Met Gala looks from this year. I love the Met Gala every year it comes around. I'm so excited. Obviously this year was Art is Fashion. I just loved, like, everyone wanted to add their 5 cents this year. I mean, every year everyone adds their 5 cents. But this year in particular, I felt like there was a lot of debate over like people's outfits and like it not being art. But I mean, that's kind of the whole point. So my favorite looks were Emma Chamberlain, literally wore an art piece. I think it was the best one. Annika Yai, she was the girl in gold. Loved that. Sabrina Carpenter's was clever only because of what she actually wore. Being actual like movie film, I thought was pretty clever from the designer's perspective. I'm probably gonna pronounce this wrong, but Bavitha Mendava, she wore basically sweater with jeans, but it was all made from silk and it was made to look like it was heavy wear denim. And she pulled on the fact that just clothing in general is art because it's an art form of weaving fibers together to create our clothing. And my second favorite pop culture moment, I think, was the hype over all the Wuthering Heights premiere looks. I loved Margot Robbie's looks from the thing and the way in which they pull like the whole modern take on that sort of like, what even era was that? I don't even know what era that movie was set in, but just the way that they pulled together the two looks to create what they did, I just really loved the premiere outfits from them.
Next is fashion again. We've got our pieces of clothing / fashion trends. Low rise jeans. I wear my mum's ones from the 2000s and
they're sickening. I love them.
I love them so much. And I also been loving a good little boat neck. I think boat necks are really nice. Like I really want like just a plain long sleeve boat neck top. I just really love the boat neck look.
My ones were, I have bought a new shirt from Cotton On. I think it's called aquamarine or like something blue. It's the most gorgeous shade of blue. Every time I've worn it, I've gotten compliments. I even went to this salad bar near my TAFE and the girl worked at the salad shop was like, I love your top. That color is so nice on you. So I've loved that top and my grey sweatsuit that I've like worn so many times this year. It's like my favorite tracksuit that I bought from the Hallenstein brothers. So highly recommend. They've been my 2 favorite pieces that I own. As far as fashion trend goes, I've been loving color maxing, seeing like, you know, mixtures of patterns and colors. And you know, I feel like a lot of the time we were like, if you're gonna wear a color, you have to do the sandwich method. But now it's like, you know, wear green shoes, blue pants, and a red top. Like just color maxing and feeling that like childlike sense in your clothing. So I've loved that, which includes like, you know, the polka dot trends and the blue and brown mixture of colors. And I've also loved the bringing back of the 2016, early 2000s aesthetic, which I think really came through during the Coachella period this year. I've loved seeing like 2016-esque clothing back in fashion. As far as shoes go, I've loved wearing my Archies. I think they've been in for the past couple of years, but I really appreciate that they've been brought back in because when I was in year 8, I got a pair of Archies because of my feet and they were flat. I was like, I can't wear these, they're ugly, like no one wears these. And now everyone wears them whether they need arch support or not. So I really appreciate that for 14-year-old me who feels like she can wear her Archies. So I really appreciate that.
Alright, and then our last one is makeup. I honestly use the same makeup routine like all the time. It's not really.
It's nice. You found like a staple that like fits your face.
I think so.
Like,
I think we're getting there. But I do love a good brown eyeliner. I'm still trying to look for one. I have an arched thin eyeshadow brush thingy that I just pop in my little bronzer and I do a little wing. So I love brown eyeliner. I think that's really pretty. Or I love just eyeliner in general when it doesn't leak. You know, like when it leaks.
Yeah, and then it looks
so
weird.
Annoying. And then I also do love my Kylie Cosmetics blush. Obviously my Road Beauty lip gloss.
My makeup from this year are all new products that I've gotten this year. One, my favorite of course, is my Rhode lip gloss that I have in raspberry jelly. My favorite, and she just released new warm tone shades. They're all like brown nude shades and their flavors, like they sound like they smell incredible. Second is my pear and coconut Burt's Bees. I've always struggled to find a scent that I like. It's such a good scent. And because it's like clear, it just like moistens and that's it.
Oh, nice.
Which is just like so lovely. But they go in the washing machine all the time. So I have to buy a new one like every month because I keep leaving it in a pocket. And my last product is my Rare Beauty Eyebrow Gel that I spoke about in our last video. A friend gave it to me and it's seriously been the best eyebrow gel I've ever had. So they are my favorite makeups from this year.
Beautiful. They're all the categories that we have today. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Yeah, it's almost been like a 6-month anniversary of us on YouTube.
How good.
This will be our 6th month doing YouTube. That's really exciting. So thank you guys. And we are the besties who believe. And I believe we'll be seeing you soon. Bye.